Kind of figuring it out as we go.
We know that we're going to have a fruit salsa.
Stu's got a fruit salsa going on.
Yep.
I started out at a very young age as a pizza cutter and a dishwasher when I was 13, and I've worked my way up. I worked for some master chefs in the state of New Jersey and Florida, and since then I got a good opportunity. I've made the most of it. You go in and you wash the dishes and you work hard, and pretty soon, the cook doesn't show up and they need someone to help cook, and pretty soon you become the cook, and it's kind of a chain, You have to show that you're not scared to work and that you put the time in and show up to work is one of the keys. One of the things we always hope for is when you hire somebody is that they're going to show up to work all the time.
I started off washing dishes and cooking in the same kitchen. Once I got done cooking, we had to run over and wash our own dishes, and I was making $4.85 an hour. But I loved what I did. I wouldn't have traded that for anything, because I've done that. I wash dishes.
You're not too good to wash dishes?
Nope. Still do it.
I started out many years ago as in a hotel as a dishwasher. One day one of the cooks failed to show up for work, and I was already doing the job pretty much anyway, so I got instantly promoted to a cook, and the rest is history. I went to culinary school for a couple of years, left Ireland, spent 4 years in London, then I left London.
In London, doing what?
As a chef in London. I was with I worked at Lord's Cricket Ground, Wembley Stadium, some private institutions, some city clubs, private dining. I did some restaurants. I'd really wanted to get a lot of exposure to different places so I could just widen my experience and advance my career. Then I came over to America to live the American dream, where you can pretty much anybody can make it in America, and just it's hopefully it stays that way,
Really gotta straighten this stock, man.
What is stock?
Stock, it is a mixture of water, bones, mirepoix, and sometimes a little bit of thyme, just to kind of give it more of the aromatic. But it's you start off with cold water and let it rise up to temperature. That way it breaks down all the water soluble things that only break down in cold water.
It sounds to me like the challenge has increased a whole lot.
As well as it should. We should be more critical as time goes on, and they should be more inventive.
How hard is it to put something like this together in an hour? It sounds to me like it'd be far more difficult.
They can be pretty difficult, but it's so much they can go with. I mean, they can go with an island theme. They can go with a Mediterranean, Indian theme. It's a lot. It's a lot they can do with the beets. Beets is such a versatile ingredient. Shrimp, always something to do with the shrimp. So,
But anchovies, if you ask me, are nasty.
I love anchovies in small doses. I mean, you can't use a lot of them, that's for sure. I mean, they're just salty and, gritty.
Is this the kind of contest you'd like to be?
Yeah, I like the ingredients today. I think the ingredients today I could really shine with. It was more traditional French type ingredients last week. This is more the modern type of food that I'm really into. I mean, when I compete, I almost always use fruits in my food with my proteins, and I'm seeing a lot of that going on here today. I really like what I've seen so far from the first group and this group also.
And last week, you judges were not too happy about the way they used the community table over there, all the other ingredients. But now I see they've it's a whole different set of ingredients over there that are available.
Yeah, there's a whole different set of ingredients. They're still all kind of using the same ones that are over there, though. There's some really good stuff over there. There's some really good Italian cheeses that are over there. That would be great for the risotto we've seen done. I don't know. Somebody's using polenta, I see here now, and somebody's using couscous, so that's good. Instead of everybody using risotto. But there's still a lot of good ingredients on that table that are untouched. I'm going to talk about last week, and I went to my own restaurant and I made a goat cheese dressing just yesterday that I was playing with after what I had seen with the goat cheese last week, and I just taken the goat cheese with some lemon juice and made a little vinaigrette with it, and it was absolutely wonderful. And on top of just some basic spinach, and because they had presented us with a lot of salads last week, and I was just trying to figure out something you could do different with the goat cheese, because the way it was served to us last week, I thought I would probably never want to eat it again. We had so much of it, and there was nothing done with it. It was just raw goat cheese over last week.
You fixed that by making the
dressing
a creative dish.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what we all do. I mean, taking what they have here today, I think there's some creative stuff going on. I think there could even be some more creative stuff going on with a little more experience and knowledge.
Just from looking around, I was just going to make a comment to my fellow judges. You can always tell when you do these who's got the experience. Like, it's obvious here who's who's in charge, and he's kind of running the ship. But he's been in the industry for years, so they've got a definite advantage. The table itself has got a bountiful array of very nice product over there. There's some really cool stuff for guys to play with. A lot of it's that nobody's touching again. There's a lot of good stuff over there. There's cheese over there, nobody's gone near the cheese. There's lots of different vegetables. Nobody's touching this fresh mozzarella over there. It's awesome. There's dried raisins, there's nuts, there's a lot of stuff they aren't using. And they've got a pretty nice selection of their secret ingredients, or they can work. They just have to be careful with the anchovies because they're very salty.
Is this just the kind of challenge you would like to have, rather than say last week with those particular ingredients and fewer of them? The secret one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like chicken thigh meat is kind of boring, but they've got a lot nicer stuff this week because it's the next step in the contest. So the shrimp are great. You can do so much with the shrimp. The anchovies can be a little challenging for people that haven't used them before, because they're, again, with the high salt content, a little goes a long way. I take back what I said. It looks like somebody must have been reading my mind because somebody just used the raisins. So. But again, like I said, it was the gentleman who's had the experience in the field. He's the one that, he's been in the industry, so he's got a far greater concept and a grasp of it because he's been doing it for years, So if I was to go in here and do this, what I'd produce would be totally different than what, the students would produce, Because I've been doing it for years, and for what their level of experience, they're doing great, they're working hard, they stood up to the plate and stepped out on a limb, and at the risk of maybe a possible embarrassment, at least they did the challenge, and they've learned from it, and they should be commended for that. I have to laugh sometimes when I see these contests on TV, like especially the pastry contests where they're doing cake challenges and all that stuff. And they don't even eat the cake. What's the point? You're going to eat that cake. If it looks beautiful and it tastes like cardboard, what's the point? Flavour should be number one. What it tastes like. You don't go to a nice restaurant and just look at it. You might as well go to a porcelain shop and look at some nice porcelain. You're not going to eat that.